be it Formula 1, Formula 2, almost any form of motorsport for that matter. And as always, no place like home. We are here for round 7 of the Formula 2 season, which is really hotting up, and more challengers are starting to emerge, with Liam Lawson on the biggest purple radar form at the moment. But will he be able to overcome the consistency that Callie May has been showing? Well, she's going to be roared on by the home crowd today, but we've only got one race to show you because unfortunately I forgot to record the sprint race, so we're only going to be here for the feature race today. But in a moment after the grid, we do have a small highlight package to bring on that one. Not much was missed, but there was one big surprise, as we did mention Callie Mayer's consistency earlier. We'll talk about that when we get there. She's second on the grid today, roared on by her home crowd. And I think with that, let's actually go to the grid and start from the back in just a moment. It should be coming around about now. I've probably jumped the gun a bit, but in any case, here we go then. So, here's the time to go for this feature race then. We'll start from the back, and it's Amuyu Iwasa who is at the back, surprisingly, alongside Ralph Bashong. Amuyu Iwasa was towards the front by the start of the season. Tadano Cordo on his 20th, followed by Ollie Colwell. Amuyu Iwasa gets his worst start of the season in 18th behind Iwasa, or Vesti rather. Fittipaldi is behind Jack Doohan, and Jehan Derivela is behind Yuri Vips. Clement Novolak gets a 1-over on his teammate. Well, actually, no, because he's Dragovic behind Derivela. Marino Sato and JQ start off the top 10. Logan Sargent is with Richard for sure in 8th and 7th. Felipe Dragovic, we spoke of him, is 6th behind Porsche. Marcus Armstrong is 4th alongside Caleb Williams. But of course, at the front, it's the front two in the championship, Callie Mayer and Liam Lawson. And here is our review, or highlights rather, of the sprint race here yesterday. So as you saw, Marino Sato actually emerged the surprise winner for the Virtuosi team, a man who 2 years ago was known for dropping off at the end of races, particularly mentioned by Aiden Jackson. But now, Sato is a race winner in Formula 2, and Jake Hughes' second place means that every driver, I believe, in 2022 has scored. Dragovic, Porsche and Lawson all moved up a place by, I think, a retirement, but the big shock was Callie Mayer down in P10. As you saw, she went off in the last corner and lost about 3 or 4 positions and fell out of the points, and that was really bad news for her because Liam Lawson and Richard Bashaw both scored points. The only saving grace was that Dennis Hauget did not. Liam Lawson actually got the bonus point for fastest lap as well, so not only did her run of points finishes end, Callie Mayer that is, but also her fastest lap streak ended as well. So Liam Lawson, as we said, really showing a purple vein of form. There was a retirement, it was Amuyu Iwasa, but he was at the back anyway, as the grid showed. So now the gap between Mayer and Lawson is now just 2 points, with Dennis Hauget and Richard Bashaw right behind her. Teo Porcher probably isn't that too far behind either. This is really turning into a multi-car scrap for the championship, one of which isn't Felipe Dragovic down there in P7, but of course we still have over half a season to go. But there, Liam Lawson has really emerged as a challenger for this title bout, and it could be any one of the first 3 for definite. And just going for the rest of the points here, I do believe that Jake Hughes' second did mean everyone scored. There he is in 20th. So yes, everyone has scored. Even Ralph Boschon at the bottom there has got a point earlier in the season. Moving on to the constructors' standings, it was Kramer that took back the lead in the team standings ahead of Dams, and Carlin will be really relying on Lawson to get more of those points. They'll be really trying to push Logan Sargent to finish on the points more consistently, as he's the reason they're really falling behind, because Lawson now is, like we said, on a rich vein of form. Trident to keep ahead of High Tech and Virtuosi, grabbing a few extra position with the win for Sato.
Okay, so everything looks good.
So there was a sprint race, not a lot happened, but of course the big surprise was Callie Mayer's run of points coming to an end, but she's looking to make up for that in a big way today, brought on by her home crowd. And of course, be aware that we do have a tyre bargain F123's F2 section, so we'll probably be seeing, I think it's this time, we're going to be seeing points at pit stops at the start of the race, as everyone is starting on the hard tyres. The big benefactor could be Cordial with his retirement. We'll have to wait and see, but yes, Amaury Cordial was towards the front at the start of the season. Today he starts last, so that's another big shock for qualifying. High-Tech Grand Prix, Marcus Armstrong up in 4th. Of course, he won the Saudi Arabia feature race after Callie Mayer took her 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane. A bit of a rookie error for her, but she's more than made up for that sins, of course, with blistering drives in Monaco and Azerbaijan, as her Formula 1 presence isn't really noticed yet, but she is on the roadmap for Audi now. And of course, Audi have all this forthcoming. Audi have been in the stories this week, of course, with all their supposed driver changes happening. Nico Hulkenberg has been called up by Raven West to replace the injured Lara Carvalho in the Grid World Series. So will Callie Mayer be looking to replace Hulkenberg in that instance? Probably, most likely not, because Audi have already got some contingency plans in place, and I don't think she is included yet. She was only added to the books a few weeks ago for Azerbaijan, so they probably don't want to throw it at the deep end yet. It is a crucial point of the season for Audi in their chase towards the top 3 in the constructors standings there. Of course, they're not going to beat Red Bull and Ferrari, but they're kind of locked into a bit of a battle with Mercedes. So they probably won't want to put Callie under that pressure too early. And of course, she has her own obligations of trying to win this championship, which will be, of course, better her brother's result, Aiden Jackson, that is, in 2020 when he finished second to Mick Schumacher. And, well, her consistency has been a talking point this season, but it finally ended in the sprint race. She admitted it was her own mistake, and it cost her some points. But thankfully, as you saw, she is still leading, although only by thin margins at this point. She needs to get ahead of Lawson off the start, or she could be spending a lot of time looking behind that Carlin Red Bull liveried rear wing. So she'll be looking to get one of those trademark Kalimea starts she's had this season. Here come the 5 red lights and the green flag in the back. You know what happens when all those lights go out? It's lights out. And away we go for the free trace. Kalimea goes immediately across, but it looks like Liam Lawson a bit of a start. Tail Pourchaire round the outside before we even got to turn 1. And Pourchaire is now third. A rocket start by Pourchaire, but Liam Lawson got exactly the start he wanted. Universe is moving to 12, Vesti's up to 14th. We've got a bit of a scrap in the midfield. Liam Lawson got exactly the start he wanted. He leads to the front. Kalimea was not able to get off the line well enough to get into the lead, but Tail Pourchaire is the real winner. Jake Hughes has dropped to 10th. Sato is now 9th. Of course, he won the sprint race, as you saw in those videos in that kind of section at the beginning. And we've got some all sorts of jostling for position. A bit further down that field, that's Novaluk actually passing Jake Hughes. So it looks like Jake Hughes got a poor start because he's alongside Clement Novaluk in the MP Motorsport car, whose teammate Felipe Dragovic is up in 5th as he tries to get back into this fight. He was the title favourite going into the season, but it's safe to say that Liam Lawson, Kalimea, and particularly Richard Forshaw and Dennis Hauger have all defied championship expectations, and Liam Lawson is already a second in front as his rich reign of form continues into this weekend. Rory Cordial's got it all to do from the back there. He's got to hang on to Tanto Golderon as she is 21st in the Shrews car. And a couple drivers out of position. As you can see, Frederick Vesti 14th, Jack Dewey down in 16th, and Amuyu Iwasa in particular down in 18th. So a few drivers really out of position, and that really bodes well for the likes of Logan Sargent and Jake Hughes in particular, who are not the bona fide point scorers in their cars, as Kalimea immediately heads for the pits as we see the effect of a tyre bug in F1 23 once again. And Kalimea, as a result, is going to be the first and only driver to move onto the soft tyres that she will have available for this race. And she will fall all the way down to the back. Of course, this won't vote too bad for her because everyone else will have to do the same thing. And it's a set of super soft tyres, and away she goes. Clean pit stop by the Downs team, and they have been known for their stellar performances in the pit stops this season. And now they've got to hope that Callie can do all the recovering she can to get back towards the front. But as we said, all the others will have to do the same thing. Everyone's in the same boat in Formula 2, with it being equal spec series. And Kalimea comes out at the back. Well, let's get a replay of the start from Taylor Pourchaire. An absolutely brilliant start from Pourchaire, immediately taking to the left and really using a page of the Kalimea playbook off the start. And he goes from 5th or 6th to about 3rd already, and right into 2nd. Pourchaire and Dragovic already being looked at for next year's championship. Although I think Pourchaire has got rumours surrounding him of an IndyCar drive, supposedly. And that would be quite interesting. He's trying to have a look down the inside of Kalimea, but I don't think he was going to try a lunge down there into, I believe it's Woodcote before Lovefield. And Liam Lawson is leading by example and leading by a postcode. Already 2 seconds clear of Pourchaire, and with Kalimea out of the picture for the moment, he can kind of relax, I suppose, with the speed of that Carlin car. Jake Hughes now back in the points, but he's got it all to do because of course he's going to have to pit, as is everyone else. Because everyone won't be coming in at once. Because in Formula 2, the pit stops are much slower. You only risk ruining your own race if you double stack in this series. And Liam Lawson is immediately taking to the pits and reacting to what Kalimea did at the start there. Looks like Callum Williams is going to go on in the Trident car. Sargent's going on as well by the looks of it. Oh no, Pourchaire is in 2nd place. It's going to take a while to filter out because of how the pit stop is, the pit lane is positioned. DRS enabled, and Liam Lawson is in. And how much time will he lose having to wait behind these cars? It's actually going to be almost perfect coming out behind Jake Hughes there, and that was perfectly timed by the Carlin team to send him on his way right in a nice gap, and that might work for later. Well, Kylie May is just approaching the last corner now. How much is she actually going to make after these pit stops filter out? Because most of the cars were leaving the pits by the time she got there. So she hasn't beat Lawson at all. So Lawson's following lap was good enough to have him up in the lead. So that's going to be a net lead for Liam Lawson now. And as we said, Kylie May could be spending most of his race looking behind the rear wing of Liam Lawson there, which is exactly what she needed, really. She would lose the championship lead if the position stayed like this. And that'll be obviously after the pit stops have filtered out for the first 10, who have waited an extra lap to pit. Now it's all about how much Kylie can do chasing Lawson in this instance. She's been very good around here this weekend. Very much better than her last two qualifying performances, qualifying second, and of course at Azerbaijan and Monaco she was at the back. But today, or yesterday rather, or even the day before to be honest, hold on in qualifying to second place. Still no pole position this year for Kylie Mayer, but not as she's needed it. So here come a bunch of other people coming in for their pit stops. Of course everyone will probably have to stop again, because I don't know if the super stops will make it to the end of the race. Of course the big benefactor here is Amuyu Iwasa with his early retirement in the sprint race. I think it kind of saved him a set that he could use later. So if anything, Amuyu Iwasa could be like second or third by the end of this. Well, he's currently leading right now, so he'll be the surprise leader, with Lawson followed by Mayer. But it depends how far Cordia will get and how long he will go on those tyres now. But of course, Lawson and Mayer are going to be on faster tyres behind him. And speaking of Kylie Mayer, she's back setting the fastest lap of 1:45.4, which puts her now in the driver's seat to get the extra point for the fastest lap, a point she so very much vitally needs now. Only leading by 5 margins in the championship as Jack Doohan took around the outside of Sargent there. I think Doohan was coming out of the pits there, so that's a good move. It could be around for Sargent. So Amuyu Iwasa now has a 12-second lead. It's probably redundant for the most part, because he will have to pit later in the race. This man being Lawson, he's come from nowhere, to be honest. Since his pole in Spain and his double win in Spain, he's been almost untouchable for the most part. It's been Kylie Mayer's consistency that has led her to the title up to this point. And that was after the win in the Imola feature race, of course. And now she's 1.9 behind Lawson at the minute, so she has gained a little bit on him. That's 1.4. It's crucial, going to be crucial for Kylie to get into DRS range as quickly as possible. Cordia's already lost 2 seconds to Lawson on this lap, so I don't know if we'll see him in very soon. He might become the big benefactor later. The further he can go, the less chances he'll have to stop again, and that'll probably make up for him later, truth be told. So Amuyu just has to keep it on the black stuff, but he's losing a lot of time whilst doing it. So theoretically now, Lawson will lead from Mayer, Porsche will be third. Pretty much been as you were before the pit stop started, more or less. And I think you can already tell Cordial's starting to struggle a bit. Sato, the sprint race winner, didn't really do much as the championship for him, but it is a nice moment for Virtuosi. We've not had a win for a while. I think they would have expected more out of Jack Doohan. He's been very unfortunate most of the time this season, Jack Doohan. Doohan and Vesti have definitely been the underperformers that haven't really been their fault, to be fair. And of course, we heard earlier this week that in the whole driver merry-go-round with Audi, we were mentioning Audi earlier, but of course we've got Fernando Alonso going to Aston Martin. And that's a big shot. We've got rumours of Mick Schumacher possibly being dropped by Haas. And of course, Mick Schumacher has failed to score in 2022 in Formula 1 this season. Rumours possibly of an Audi swap, which would be quite interesting. And a very, not really a surprise move. I think it'd be the beneficiary for Mick Schumacher, to be honest. Yes, and the whole driver merry-go-round, the Logan Sargent was actually mentioned, looking to take the place of Nicholas Latifi at Williams for 2023. So anything Sargent can do for the rest of the season will be heavily watched. But as it stands, we could possibly be seeing at least 2 graduates for the end of the season. If Audi do go the Kalimea route, which would be very unlikely, and that'd be, would it be likely actually? She'd be automatic Formula 2 champion, so she wouldn't have to return. So, I think if Kalimea does win this championship, it will be a huge, huge story. First female ever to win in the Formula category. At least a lot of ones. Of course, Formula 1 has had female competitors in the past. Giorgia Marti, back in 1992, I believe, was the last to compete. But unfortunately, she had the dreaded fact of pre-qualifying. So unfortunately, I don't think she ever made the grid. Kalimea won't have that distinction to deal with. But Audi now have a free seat with Nico Hulkenberg on the move after the Austrian event. And we have a slow car, and it's Frederick Bester. We were just talking about him. Unfortunately, I think we put the commentator's curse on him. He's out of the race, which looks to be engine failure. Probably most likely gearbox. The gearbox has been a big point of concern throughout F2 this season, and Maury Cordio has been losing a lot of time. Because already Liam Lawson can see the rear wing, and Mayo's not too far behind either. Of course, Liam Lawson, if he wins, it could really up his Red Bull stock. He's already had a run in the Red Bull this season, alongside Max Verstappen and Imola. And who's to say Liam Lawson won't be in with a shot at the AlphaTauri seat with the driver merry-go-round going on. And of course, we've got all the drama outside of F2 at the moment, involving last year's champion Oscar Piastri, and all that story with him going to Alpine and then not. And supposedly McLaren are in the view for the seat, and that will be put before the contract renegotiation board at the summer break. Popular opinion is that McLaren actually have that argument won. So if he goes there, that could spell trouble for Daniel Ricciardo, because that could be another buyout of his contract, which could be a shame. And of course, the Red Bull seat always under the close watchful eye of Helmut Marko, with Verstappen and Perez, but I don't think anything's going to change in the main team anytime soon. I think they're more than happy with what Perez has been doing, especially after the valiant defence in 2021 at the Abu Dhabi race for Perez. Made a name for himself that day. He didn't really win Verstappen the race, so to speak, but he definitely put Perez on a map of sorts. As Cordial takes to the pits and gets rid of those hard tyres, he might actually be able to go to the end of the race, seeing that it's so late. But now, Kalimea has brought it to win in a second, so she has actually benefited from Cordial kind of holding Lawson up for a little bit. Now, will we see a battle for the lead here? These two are probably going to have a battle to the end of the season for the title. It certainly seems to be against these two at the moment. And of course, with the situation with Piastri and Alpine, there's been kind of some small rumours swirling that Pierre Gasly could be an option for AlphaTauri, and that's why we mentioned Liam Lawson. That could really give him a route to F1 as well. So we could be seeing almost 3 graduates next year. But that's only if Kalimea does land an Audi seat at any point. Because, of course, whoever comes in for Audi may not make it to the end of the year. We don't really know. Of course, I think it'll probably mostly matter over whether Nico Hulkenberg wants to return for Audi for 2023. He will still be there. He is obviously their ambassador, their sport ambassador, and there's a big reason why they were able to come into Formula 1 in the first place. So Audi might have, I think it'll be the affiliate or young driver program route for Callie Mayer. I don't think she's going to probably jump straight into the Audi seat. They'll want to kind of nurture her a bit. I mean, she's more than proven she's ready for the challenge this season. If she wins the F2 championship, that is certainly going to aid her stock a lot. But I think Audi is really kind of waiting on the eventual situation of what Hulkenberg will do after his run in the Grid World Series, subbing in for Lara Carvalho at Raven West. Of course, as they made the call, and Audi, well, they were very reluctant, were they? You know, they didn't really want to change their lineup. Hulkenberg has been hit with bad luck all season. That Teo Pourchaire out, and that's a double retirement for ART, and that's a real shame. Because Teo Pourchaire was having a great race up to that point, and his engines gave up as well. So problems for ART as a team, as Callie Mayer continues to hunt down Liam Lawson, but Lawson's doing a great job of holding this lead. And the positions stay like this, Lawson will lead the championship. And well, as we said, Williams could be looking at Logan Sargent for next season to replace Nicholas Latifi. Lawson may get a shot at AlphaTauri, and Callie Mayer may, in some form or other, get a kind of seat with Audi. It just depends which one. But it's certainly not going to be the end of the mid-season stories. The silly season has started, and a lot of names are moving around. And these two at the front are certainly included. Callie Mayer is actually taking to the pits for a second stop. But of course she's on the soft tyres, so they probably weren't going to make it to the end of the race anyway, because she pitted on lap 1. And tyre wear is notorious here. So has she cooked those tyres? And has Liam Lawson cooked his? And what will come of the end result of that? So Felipe Dragovic now is third, and that's the highest he's been this season. As we said, he was a championship contender going into the year, but sadly Dragovic just hasn't really been there, more or less. Sadly for him. And of course, not to enter the Aston Martin merry-go-round, Felipe Dragovic, I think, is on the verge of becoming Aston Martin's third driver for 23 as well. So Dragovic, a lot of these stars in F2 this year could be making a step up to Formula 1 in some regard. And of course, most of these drivers are already in the academies. Callie Mayer's at Audi, Liam Lawson's at Red Bull, Dragovic could be Aston Martin by next year, and there's a lot of Red Bull drivers involved, don't forget. J.R. Deruvela, Dennis Hauger, Amuyu Iwasa, Liam Lawson. Of course, Jack Doohan and Ollie Colbert are Alpine's academy, and they might need them sooner rather than later if Piastri does not end up at Alpine for next year. Now, Callie Mayer is going to have an interesting scenario here, because she's come up on Amaury Cordial, who probably will now go to the end of the race. Liam Lawson hits. So Callie Mayer has not cleared Cordial yet, and that could prove to be troublesome if he's holding her up. DRS activated down the, I think it's the Wellington Straight, going into Stowe. Bit of a famous corner in being the place that Michael Schumacher broke his leg in 1999, taking him out of the championship fight, a title that Michael probably looked like winning before then. The Ferrari was definitely up to the task that year, but fortunately Schumacher suffered an injury that put him out for almost the rest of the season by the last 2 races. But then, of course, he came back better than ever. There's Liam Lawson coming out of the pits. We could have a change for the lead here. Callie Mayer's going to be closing on him. And what's going to happen here? Liam's going to have to get his tyres up to temperature. Callie May has already got it. Liam's on the hard tyres. Callie going around the outside. And we're going to have a battle for the lead here, folks. Amuyu Iwasa's got a box seat. And Callie May takes the lead. That was absolutely crucial for Callie May. She finally jumped Liam Lawson. And will Amuyu Iwasa do the same thing? He will hope not. But Callie May has effectively taken the race lead. Well, we didn't think she was going to have any chance. She was behind Cordeal for a bit beforehand. But, well, Callie Mayer, it's a tried and trusted Callie Mayer move, isn't it? Keep your car there. Which Callie has done this season. Oh, she could have looked out for track limits there. Gaining advantage by going for track. I think she went across the orange kind of bumps in the curb there. I don't think she would have gained much out there, to be honest. Let's have a look at this from Liam's perspective. Well, he thought he was probably clear the whole way round. Oh, he struggled into turn 1 there. I wonder if that counted for something. And of course, tyre temperature probably counted for a lot there. And look how much Callie had gained on him as she came out of the corner there. And already, how much is she ahead of Liam at the moment? 2 seconds. So Callie has got her foot down as the second half of the field now makes a pit stop. So it's going to be Mayer from Lawson and Cordeal by the looks of it. And Cordeal, as we said, had the fortunate distinction of retiring in the sprint race, which means he pretty much avoids the tyre bug for the feature race. How's this all going to filter out in the pits then? There's Callum Williams for Trident. Richard Shaw down there in 15th. That's not going to help him in the title fight. That'll mean Mayer and Lawson will now pull away from him a little bit. Where is Dennis Hauger, by the way? He's 7th, so he'll be picking up a few points there. And here is Logan Sargent battling with Jack Dillon, and he loses out instantly because he was coming out of the pits. That puts Jake Hughes in 9th. That could be 2 more points for him. He's had a good weekend, Jake Hughes. Very good weekend for the young Brit. Verschaw is now 8th. Okay, so Verschaw was obviously one of the earlier hitters there, so now he's back in the points. But Dennis Howard is actually ahead of him. So that's going to count for a lot. Sato, P6. Credit to him, he's had a very good weekend, Marino Sato. Marcus Armstrong is where he started. And that's only because Teo Porcher sadly dropped out of the race. Now, the interesting battle here is for P2 because Callie Mayer has raced away to I think that's a 3-second lead. So Callie is now gone after passing Lawson and being in clean air. So now, the question is, what will Amuyu Iwasa do? Can he pass Lawson at any point? Lawson's had great speed in that Trident, to be fair. Carlin, to be fair. Once again, Callie Mayer right back in it now. Lost her point streak, but right back on top, literally. And used her better tyre temperature. A great effect to take back the lead there. That was a crucial move now. You can hear the cheers everywhere she turns. She's definitely turned some heads this season. Rightly so. After Monaco and Azerbaijan in particular. The way Callie turns this car is very much like her brother Aiden Jackson, that's for sure. The way she throws it in, very aggressive style, and works to perfection with both siblings. So, obviously a very tight-knit racing family, the Jacksons. Mayer racing under Murder's name, of course. And I've been some sort of rumour swirling, maybe, that she will actually take the Jackson name if she does make it into F1 at any point. Well, whatever happens, if Mayer does make it, I think they will become the first sibling duo, no matter what Callie's surname is. It'll be the first sibling duo since the Schumachers. back in 2006 when Michael and Ralph were in at the same time. Of course, Michael then came back in 2010, but Ralph had retired by the end of 2008. So, and Michael came back into Project Mercedes, and let's say, well, his experience proved invaluable. Of course, it was Lewis and Nico that raced the cars to many championships, 8 constructors in a row. Ended on 7 for Lewis Hamilton and 1 for, 6 for Hamilton and 1 for Rosberg. Of course, adding to the one that Hamilton won in 2008 with McLaren. But in 2021, the run had stopped as far as the drivers were concerned. And it doesn't look like they're going to hold on to the Constructors' Championship this year either. That looks to be going the way of Ferrari, believe it or not. That'd be interesting. Another year of 2 different champion things. It doesn't really happen very often. The last time we had that before 2021 was, I believe, 2008, I think, with Hamilton champion for the drivers and Ferrari taking the constructors, I think. No, it was 2007 could also be a kind of option, although I think Ferrari took both in that way, and that's because McLaren were disqualified from the 2007 Constructors' Championship for the Spygate saga. But I think that was the last time, because obviously when Vettel took all the championship plaudits for Red Bull, and then Mercedes, they've been unstoppable juggernaut for 8+ years. So yes, I believe for the first time since 2008 last season, which is an interesting stat that we haven't really brought up, as we have a right battle in the midfield going here. Logan Sargent has made his way up to 10th. Jake Hughes is struggling, as Amuyu Iwasa is passing him, and Iwasa's been nowhere all day, but now he's on the verge of a point for Dams, and that'd be crucial. Logan Sargent, we were saying about him earlier, anything he can do will really raise his stock as he's in line for the Williams seat next season. And right now, he's making a case for it. Good pass on Jake Hughes up to P10. But I wonder if Jake Hughes is carrying an issue of some kind. Well, no matter what, she's done it again. Kylie Mayer is looking at her second win of the season to follow on from Miller, of course. Yuri Vimpster now passing Jake Hughes, as I believe Jake is carrying an issue and is now going to fall like a stone, sadly. But he's had a good weekend, Jake Hughes, to be fair. But Kylie Mayer has certainly had a bounce back day today. She lost her point streak in the sprint race, but she's more than made up for it today, and she's going to take her second win of Formula 2 this season. Well, she's on Audi's books now, and her konnersport branding probably has a bit to do with it. Of course, Audi signing that brand deal with konnersport to start next season. That's going to be fun. And, well, she's their star athlete for a reason, and she's about to prove why. Kylie Mayer has done brilliantly. She's stuck with Lawson. She undercut him in the pits, and now Kylie Mayer wins the feature race here today and keeps her championship lead on a day where, well, she might have lost it if Liam Lawson managed to stay in front. But once again, Kylie Mayer is a model of consistency. Rory Cordial and Liam Lawson get some honourable mentions today, but it's Kylie that wins the 25 points and, of course, the extra point for the fastest lap.
Thank you so much, team. On the pit wall, everyone, back in the factory. You're amazing.
Ah, fantastic drive. That's just fantastic. Amazing. You deserved that race win. Well done, mate.
Kylie, very much a team player. Remind you of anyone? Of course, Aiden Jackson has really shown that all season long with his Audi team. Well, who says where the limit is for Kylie Mayer? Unfortunately, there haven't been a lot of ways for females into motor racing. Of course, we have the F1 Academy now, but Kylie made the jump to F2 instead. And boy, is it paying off. and boy are we glad to see it. She wins from 3 seconds from Liam Lawson, a crucial pass after the second pit stop for Lawson is what won her that race. Tire temperature was perfect at that point. Cordial's third from last on the grid, but of course he had that sprint race retirement that helped him out there. Marcus Armstrong, Felipe Dragovic, Torino Sato, Dennis Hauger and Richard Shaw do keep in touch with more points. Jack Doohan actually got to 9th somehow. We missed that. But great last ditch moves from Jack Doohan to put him on to 9th. Logan Sargent gets a point. Unfortunately for Amuyu Iwasa, it's at his expense. And Iwasa has been pretty decent this season, but unfortunately he steals 0 today. So Kylie May extends her lead now to, I think that's 18 points. I can't really see, it's quite pixelated on this screen, but anyway, she does still lead. Dennis Hauger, it's Liam Lawson, Dennis Hauger, Richard for sure. It's been that way for a while actually. But I think Liam Lawson, Liam Lawson was there in the sprint race, I believe. But of course he scored points, so that would make sense. So as we said, everyone has scored in 2022. That's how tight this field is. Moving on to constructors, it's Dams to take back the lead because Prima only had 1 score in the end with Dennis Hauger. I really don't actually know where Jay Honda finished. I'm assuming he's out to the points. But, well, the British crowd will be cheering on Aiden Jackson later, but it's his sister that takes the win in this one. It's up to Aiden now to make it a Jackson double. Callie May has done her part and keeps her championship lead in the process. What another great landmark day for her. We'll see you again in Austria when Formula 2 returns. It's goodbye from Silverstone, and we'll see you for the Grand Prix.